All right, you're looking at moving to Mooresville, North Carolina. And Mooresville might look like that perfect Lake Norman community with fantastic schools and a lot of new construction homes, but there are a few things you really need to know before you do decide to move to Lake Norman. We're gonna go over those right now. Hey, my name is Austin and I make videos about what it is like to move to or live in the Lake Norman area of North Carolina. And today we're going to be discussing 7 things you should know before you decide to move to Mooresville, North Carolina. Let's get into it with number 1. All right, number 1 is going to be that Lake Norman living is unreal, all right, but it'll cost you. Now, Mooresville is the gateway to Lake Norman. You're going to find a ton of homes with lakefront access to Lake Norman. The big thing is that while a lot of Mooresville is on Lake Norman, you don't need waterfront property to enjoy Lake Norman itself. And a lot of these lakefront homes are going to come with a real premium price. All right, so let's talk about areas in Mooresville that are not lakefront, but give you lake access, all right? Now, the first one I'm gonna talk about is Stumpy Creek Park. Stumpy Creek Park has 2 boat launches. It's a great place to go to launch your boats, jet skis, you can go kayaking, you can go fishing. Stumpy Creek Park has a fishing pier, and they also have several benches that are around the park where you can actually sit and just look out onto Lake Norman. They also have a ton of parking available for your trailer. And Stumpy Creek Park, while it does have a boat launch, it's also actually like a really big park. They have a lot of baseball, they have soccer, football fields, they have a little trail that goes through the park as well. So Stumpy Creek Park is fantastic access for people that live in Mooresville. And on top of that, when you get a home that is on Lake Norman, again, you're looking at well over $1 million, 1.2, 1.4 million. And then on top of that, you're looking at permits, dock maintenance, setbacks. So there really is a lot that does go into owning a home that is lakefront on Lake Norman. And Mooresville does have a ton of lakefront homes, especially out on the point, but you don't need a lakefront home to enjoy living in Mooresville. All right, next let's move into number 2, and that is gonna be that Mooresville actually has a decent food scene. Okay, now I grew up in a lot of different areas. I grew up in North Jersey, I lived in Massachusetts, Connecticut, Florida, Texas. I've lived in 10 different states in the US, and Mooresville actually has a pretty decent food scene. You're gonna find decent pizza at Alino Pizzeria, and you're gonna find some pretty good burgers at Barcelona Burgers as well. And these 2 are actually right next to each other, and they share a courtyard. So if you want to bring out the kids, you want to go out with the family, or if you just want to go and grab a bite for yourself, those 2 right next to each other offer some fantastic options. You are going to see a lot of chain restaurants in Mooresville as well, but those are usually just along Route 150. And if you're looking for some local spots along 150, you're not really going to find it there. That's where you're going to find things like your Outback Steakhouse. You're going to see Whataburger. They just put in a Whataburger. They do have a Duckworth's, which has a fantastic beer menu. But really, when you're looking for local food, what you're going to actually find is that if you go into Mooresville's downtown area, which is east of I-77, that's where you're going to find a lot of great options. Now, another one I want to shout out is Epic Chop House. I think it's the best steakhouse in all of Mooresville. I think it's the best steakhouse north of Charlotte as well. So Epic Chop House right in Mooresville, incredibly fine dining. The food there is fantastic. And then one more place I'm gonna shout out. The first place I went to when I did move to Lake Norman area was actually Eddie's on the Lake, all right? Now, Eddie's on the Lake it's like, I guess I wouldn't call it diner food, but you can find a little bit of everything, all right? You have seafood, you have steaks, Italian food, you can get pizza, flatbreads. They have a fantastic menu. You might find yourself going there for dinner and they'll have some live music as well. And it's fantastic. I've gone there several times since I've moved there. Definitely one of my favorites. Whenever I have friends or family come down here, I always recommend that they go to Eddie's on the Lake. All right, now keep in mind that the downtown area does get slammed on the weekends, all right? It gets packed. There's a lot of people going down there because it's not just food. They have a ton of different shops down in the downtown Mooresville area. And they do a lot of festivals too as well. They do Mooresville Day. They also have food truck days as well, where they shut down that main street and they have a ton of food trucks that come out and games, live music. It's fun for the kids. It's fun for the family or just for yourself as well. it's a great time. So just keep that in mind if you did want to go to the downtown section of Mooresville on the weekend. It does get pretty busy. All right, so talking about it being busy, let's move now into the traffic. All right, so I like to think that traffic is the Achilles heel of Mooresville. And that main thoroughfare for Mooresville is Route 150, or Highway 150, I should say. And Highway 150 is like, it's gonna take you 150 minutes to go from I-77 all the way west to Perth Road. And that's only a section of about a few miles, all right, less than 5 miles. And during rush hour, every day of the week, it is slammed, all right? But during rush hour, it gets real bad, especially going further west towards the lake. Now, the big reason for this is because Highway 150 in Mooresville is just loaded with shops, all right? It's where your Target, Barnes & Noble, Old Navy, Walmart, Sam's Club, ton of different restaurants, more shops, a nursery is there, Buffalo Wild Wings, Chick-fil-A, it just keeps going on and on. There is so much to do on Route 150 that everyone's going there, right? On top of that, there's a lot of employment down there. There's a lot of jobs, and you're gonna see that people are commuting through 150 on their way home or on the way to work during that rush hour time as well. During Friday night, Saturday night, it does get a little busy. I would give yourself a few extra minutes to go through Route 150 if you needed to. But on the weekend, I would say during like the daytime hour, like if you wanted to go at 10 on a Saturday morning, it's not too bad. All right, and again, with the traffic, let's just talk I-77. So I-77 is the main interstate that runs north to south, and Mooresville does sit about 25 minutes north of Charlotte, all right? Now that 25 minutes is on a very good day, okay? If you are commuting from Mooresville into Charlotte, I would expect at least 45 minutes, all right? Now you do have the option of taking the toll road, and that toll road is an express lane, but it does get very pricey, okay? It's like $2.50 all the way up to maybe $5.50, $5.95 every 2 to 3 miles. And you're looking at about 20 miles to get down into Charlotte. So it can add up very quickly if you are taking the toll road. Now, I-77 is generally where the traffic starts, moving south in the morning down into Charlotte. So I-77 in Mooresville is where it starts, and that's typically where it ends too. All right, next let's just talk about Mooresville's growth. All right, now Mooresville has grown exponentially over the last 25, 30 years. And a lot of it has really been in the last 5 to 10 years, all right? Now, there is a ton of new construction in Mooresville. You can see a lot of commercial development, but what we're really seeing is a lot of new home construction. We see a lot of apartments going up as well. And a lot of it is also going up along 150. Now, the nice thing is that you're gonna find a lot of new construction in Mooresville, and typically that new construction is keeping inventory pretty stable. So a lot of this new construction is because there are a ton of people like y'all that are watching this video thinking about moving down to Mooresville and the Lake Norman area in general. And I do want to add in that as much as I love making these videos, I am a licensed broker in the state of North Carolina. This is my day-to-day. So if you have any questions, or you're thinking about moving down to the Lake Norman area of North Carolina, that number that's popping up below, I am going to be the person that answers those phone calls, text messages, and emails. But with that being said, let's get back into the video. All right, so keeping up with housing and all that new construction, let's talk affordability. All right, now you are gonna see that Mooresville is split right down the middle with I-77. You're gonna see 2 different zip codes on the west and on the east side of I-77. And depending on where you decide to live, you're gonna see a really big difference in the cost of living. You're gonna find a ton of new construction on the west side of I-77. And that's typically where you're seeing homes around 450 up to 5, 6, 7, 8, 900,000. And then you have those lakefront homes that are well into the $1 million range. So you're seeing a lot of those on the west side. And a lot of the new construction homes are around 450, going all the way up to what I'm seeing is about 750,000 on new construction on the west side of I-77 in Mooresville. Now on the east side, what you're seeing there, that's where the downtown area is. There is still a lot of shops and restaurants on the east side of I-77 in Mooresville, but typically what you're seeing there is roughly around 350 to 400,000 for those new home prices, and then going up from there. You're gonna see a lot more historic homes on the east side of I-77 as well. And one more thing with Mooresville being so popular, those homes that do come up for sale that are around 400 and under, they typically don't last very long on the market. So if you are looking in that price range, those homes do tend to go pretty quick in the Mooresville area. All right, next for Mooresville is that there is a ton of variety, but don't expect a lot of Southern charm character homes in Mooresville. There is a small bit of it in the downtown section, but what you're really seeing in Mooresville is a lot of newer construction. The majority of the homes in Mooresville started getting built in the late 1980s, and then from there on, a lot of the homes along Lake Norman, all these lakefront homes, they're all built within the last 25 years. For the most part, you're gonna see some that are a little bit older, but a lot of the new construction that has popped up, you're seeing that over the last 5 years. You're not getting a ton of variety if you're looking for something that is old with character. All right, you're very limited on older homes with character in Mooresville, North Carolina. Now, one of the most popular neighborhoods in Mooresville is The Point, and The Point is home to the Trump Charlotte Golf Club, which is a private golf club, and it is home to the most luxurious lakefront homes you'll see that can compete with any lakefront home anywhere in the US. All right, these homes are fantastic, they're gorgeous, they're massive, and that is why they come with that huge price tag. Now, the nice part is that if you do decide to live on The Point, is that you're actually not attached to the River Highway 150, and that you're actually on Brawley School Road, which is just miles better in terms of traffic. So Brawley School Road is just south of 150. There are some shops and restaurants there, and Brawley School Road also has the Costco that is in Mooresville. So if you're a big fan of Costco like myself, all right, that's just a nice value add for Mooresville, is that they have Costco as well. All right, lastly, number 7 is that you are never gonna run out of things to do in Mooresville. All right, now I said earlier with Stumpy Creek Park that you have access to boating, kayaking, jet skiing, fishing, you have access to baseball and soccer, you have access to trails. You also have access to pickleball, there's golf. Now Mooresville is home to several golf courses, and I did mention Trump Charlotte, but Mooresville Golf Club, which is the public golf club on the east side of I-77, is phenomenal. It's one of the best in the Lake Norman area. The Carolina Golf Association regularly holds tournaments there, and they also have a fantastic restaurant on the Nines, which has been compared to some of the other restaurants in Mooresville and typically does compete with being one of the best restaurants in Mooresville. Now, the Mooresville Golf Club is a beautiful golf course. It is run by the city of Mooresville, and they have chipping green, putting green, and a full driving range, along with all of the other accommodations that they offer. In Mooresville, you're also gonna see they have a bowling alley, they have a movie theater, they have a ton of fantastic restaurants with some great live music and some great bars. To me, you really won't get bored living in Mooresville, in my opinion. And if you do, if you're looking for something like pro sports, you're only a 30-45 minute drive to go down to Charlotte to see some baseball. They have the Charlotte Knights, they have the Carolina Panthers there as well. They have a professional basketball team. They have UNC Charlotte for college football. You're only about an hour, hour and a half to the mountains. You're only about 3.5 hours to the beach. So it's a fantastic location to decide to move to. All right, so if you're thinking about moving to Mooresville or the Lake Norman area in general, don't just rely on these YouTube videos. I am a licensed real estate broker in the state of North Carolina. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. That number that's popping up below. I am the person that answers those phone calls, text messages, and emails. I want to thank y'all for watching this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as we are dropping 2 videos per week, every week. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.